schools just got closed and all the things for the coronavirus. So I had a whole other thing I was going to talk about today, but I was really thinking, not sure that it's appropriate to, to talk about some of the other things. So today I want to talk about living in uncertainty. I think that we kind of all feel that. In Ohio, that's what's happened. They've closed the schools and different things are happening. And of course, all of the professional sports and all that stuff had gotten shut down yesterday. So I don't really want to talk about that situation. I want to talk about how you want or deciding how you want to handle it or deal with it or think about it. So this idea of living in uncertainty is living kind of like afraid. Like the older of us remember like 9/11. Somebody was talking about that yesterday saying, boy, this is kind of like 9/11 where everything kind of stopped. And I don't know if people are still going back to work and those kind of things. I think they are. So it's not quite like that yet. But I think when people are just, there's uncertainty and you're not sure and you're trying to take that caution that you should to do whatever you need to do to make it through, right? So one of the things is I really wanted you to think about, or I want to think about too, is how do we kind of like ground ourselves, be okay, whatever. I kind of think 1 foot in normal and 1 foot in just caution, right? So it's like kind of keeping your life going and all those kind of things, and also just being cautionary or whatever. So I know everyone's kind of up in arms because they have the kids at home and now they have to like hustle to figure out what they're doing with them, and then they still go to work or whatever. So, I mean, lots of things to kind of consider and think about. I was thinking about, I have several students who went home from college or stayed home from spring break or whatever. And so, it's just kind of coming back to like, holy cow, what's going on? And so the one thing I said I would really have you consider is, when you get out of your comfort zone, we've talked about this before, and you get into this like uncomfortable zone or the learning zone or whatever, outside of that is then the panic zone. And just in your own head and your own, in your own heart, to really kind of think about how do you stay calm and not get into that panic zone, right? Even if you got sick or your kids got sick or your mom or your dad gets sick, or whatever, how do we just kind of stay calm? So to really think about, first of all, like we can control what we can control. And so part of that, what we can control is kind of that inner dialogue or that inner mindset or heart that we have. And so do we calm that inner like angst and just move from that place, or do we get all worked up and keep like feeding that panic kind of like a wildfire, and then it's like burning out of control and we're not making really good choices, or we're not really able to help other people or ourselves when we're kind of in that panic zone. So really thinking about how do you stay calm, how do you just kind of move forward one step at a time, and how do you really think about just sitting in that uncertainty and being uncomfortable with being uncomfortable, because really you don't have any other choice except to panic or to be uncomfortable. So how do you sit back and just take it one step at a time? The other part of it is like what I'm going to say is as everything slows down and we kind of even, go into our homes, or if we're trying to keep our distance from people, how do you make this time intentional? Like, what does it kind of help you remember that you need to spend time with your family, or you want to clean out a closet or whatever, but like kind of just being intentional with your time and really thinking about how can I utilize this time, not get caught up in the angst or the worry or whatever, and just kind of ride the wave. Many people have high anxiety. Many people are highly productive. So this kind of waiting or uncomfortable where they don't feel like they're in control is really going to like rock them. And so for you to be super intentional about what kind of things that can I get done, or what kinds of things can I do while I'm, while things are like slowing down and I can't go into my norm. Good morning, Mary Sue. So to think about that as you go through your day. The other part of it is maybe you need to rest. Maybe you need to play some games with your children. Maybe you need to play or even connect with old friends online or call somebody. Like, use the time in a way that is like a gift instead of waiting for, the other shoe to drop, or to sit in angst, or watch, the news nonstop, or watch, definitely binge on a Netflix series for sure, or do something. But like, how do you rest and play just during this time, or learn something new, or do whatever? But how are you just going to decide how to be intentional about this time that is going to kind of slow us all down? So the next piece, though, is that also to take time to nurture and care for yourself and others. I think when we go back to this idea of your inner your inner state, whether it's afraid or not, I'm coughing, right? Everyone's like, oh no, she's coughing, right? But that inner state of like calm or whatever, it's kind of like taking care and nurturing yourself first. And so, you know, do you feel well? I feel like when we talk about it, we feel bad. Like it's just a subconscious kind of thing going on in our head. So like, how do you, distract yourself, but also just kind of monitoring that inner state, take care, nurturing yourself, taking vitamins or whatever, and drinking water. But that whole concept of like, put on your own mask and then you can help other people. So if you're not sleeping or you're feeling really, really anxious, right? Like, how do you take care of yourself, slow down, or if it helps you to help others, or it helps you to clean out a closet, do those things so that you start getting some more inner calm and you're not so caught up in the what could happen and, all the horrors of what you think is going to happen. So I just want to keep you thinking about getting comfortable and sitting in this uncertainty. It's going to be uncomfortable. We're going to be confused and uncertain about what to do. And that's okay. We're so used to like being in control, but it's really okay to not know. And I know that's hard for people to understand, but we live our days like that we live like that every day. And sometimes we just consciously try to not deny it or whatever. So taking some time to kind of do some inner work, relax, breathe, think about what's important to you right now, being in gratitude, connecting and loving the people around you. And then if you need to be productive or you need to rest or whatever, making sure that you take care of yourself and you do those things that really help you feel like the uncertainty is not out of your control. So this is Christy Shell with Zeal Coaching. Have a fabulous day and just enjoy this time at home. Thanks. This is Christy.